How are you today? You know, Brittney, I really want the audience to see your eyes. Okay? But here, no, I'm going to show you how this works, all right? If we turn the music stand a little bit this way, you can see it really well. Because then what happens is as you stand, you see, remember your feet are grounding you. As you stand, you're looking down at the music with your chin up. It's funny, whenever I'm in a practice room at a concert hall, I walk in and the music stands up to here because they must think I'm a violinist, you know? And when I was younger also, I thought the music stand had to be up in order to keep my neck up, but I'm gonna help you with that, okay? Because you see, if you're up here, and I know you really feel like hiding maybe sometimes, you know? A lot of us, we feel like it's like, don't mind me, I only have legs, you know what I mean? But I tell you something, the eyes are really important. Okay, so we're going to turn your stand. So this is important. Notice what I'm doing. I'm turning the stand. You see, if you're sitting there, you can see how it catches the light. And this is important when you're in band. I know a lot of you in band. You know, it's a struggle to see the band director and your music. And also because you got so much music and those notes are flying and you've got to play it and you haven't had time to practice. You know, so you want to be able to, when you're sitting, here's another thing about sitting, always on the edge of the seat, please. 2 feet must always touch the ground. And if you're playing the flute in a band where there's a lot of people, you work it out with your stand partner how you can best hold your instrument, okay? My husband always talks about moving the chair, but band director might get upset if everybody's moving their chairs, and you can't do that in the concert. But when I play, I sit on the edge, and I play like this, you see? So this way, if I have to move like this, I'm moving from here. And it's the same thing when you stand. If we talk about putting our left foot in front, when we move from our hips. And so then we get away from this habit that you're seeing. Oh, God, I saw something today on Facebook. I couldn't even look at it. There were 5 flutists, and they were all jiggling up and down, and they were playing Mozart. And I thought poor Mozart would be like, you can't jiggle up and down because they were all at different jiggles. You see, so how can you, as a group, stay together if everyone's got it? And that jiggle means it's a different rhythm. And us flute players are not strong in rhythm. It's just the way we are. We love our sound. Don't we love our sound? We love our sound. But talk about syncopation and rhythm, you know, we're just out the window. But I saw Elton John the other day, only on the movie. But you know what I noticed? His rhythm. The rhythm. So let's hear some nice playing. I'm going to give you a break and move it up a bit. Okay, how's that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you comfortable?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you're so polite. I love it. Love it down south. Okay. Can you tell us about this piece, who this composer is?
This is by Victoria and I don't know how to say it.
I'm wondering if it's
French.
he's French.
And this is
Joncières.
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 And this was originally written for piano,
Okay.
and it was transcribed into flute and piano. Ready?
that was, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Beautiful. You know, this reminds me of something perfect for Halloween, isn't it? You know, I was thinking every music tells a story. That's what it does. And we have to find the story within there. One thing, I'm going to, 3 quick tips for you. First, I want to see where your flute's lined up. You all have beautiful instruments. I would even bring it in just a tiny hair, only because I think you're, it's a little too open. I'm going to look a little closer with you in a second, but you know, just one tip, you always want to feel the inside cut against the lip here, okay? And depends on how your lips are formed, whether it goes where the flesh meets, you know, where the skin and the lip meets, or if it goes up on the lip a little bit, okay? But you always want to have that flexibility. But one thing I want you to do for me is this famous Galway exercise. Lady Galway exercise. Everyone can do this. I want you to take your finger here, and I want you to put your hand here. Yeah, I know. Okay? And not too far away, because you're going to, okay, what we're doing here is we want to feel the air here. So I want you to blow down and feel the air here. But I think you want to put it a little closer. Bring your shoulders down. Relax. No, relax. Bring your arm up. That's it. There you go. Put like this. You feel the air here? You see what you had to do to get that? You had to really work this, didn't you? Now, do that a couple of times. Very good. Now play for me this section here, blowing exactly like that. Exactly like that. So that's what you're going to be looking for, the air there. And even for that B. Now that B is a tricky note because he's the middle of the change between the low register and the middle. And it's the first note we learn on the flute, so we're used to just blowing that note. But in actuality, we got to take a little more care of that. So I want you to think again. I want you to go back to trying this once more. Play it again. You hear the difference? Do you hear the difference?
Yeah.
Do you hear the difference? Try it again. And don't let these little guys throw you. Are you using your middle finger? So you're going like this to E to F sharp? Or are you switching?
Switching.
Oh, you're a really good girl. Well, I'm not your teacher, but you can cheat. You can go like that. Shh, don't tell your teacher I said.
You just did. It's okay.
Your teacher's telling you to do the right one, which is what you can. This is called a turn, okay? Or it's a Vorschlag in German. And it just means, first, always practice it without that. So, da, dee, da, da, okay? And keep the air going. Whenever you have a trill, whenever you have anything like that, keep the air going. Okay, but let's try again, getting the air down there. And what we're doing is, I have a feeling that your embouchure hole is a little bit too open. So I want you again to think about using that to direction down, okay? And I want you to feel, can I? Okay, I want you to feel the flute right there. Really feel it. Feel that cut in that embouchure hole. Feel secure with your instrument against your body. It's really, this is your, you know, your instrument. You love the flute. Hold it. Oh, sorry, now go back to what your teacher said. Forget me, I don't know what I'm talking about. And B, all the way down for B. Give me a beautiful B. And a little more air. That's right, just because it's, oh, there it was at the end. That was really nice. Go ahead. Good, now this jaw has got to be out of the way of the top lip. When we're young, we just blow the flute, because that's what we do. But when we get older, we have to learn more what the top does and what the bottom does. This bottom jaw has got to be out of the way of the top lip. And lots of times we learn when we're young to move both things forward, because that's what works when we start playing the flute. But we have to learn now, as you're more advanced, and you are advanced, to keep this guy back and this one blowing down. So you're going to watch in the mirror what your bottom jaw is doing. And it's funny because I have so many students that are advanced and they'll say, oh my God, I'm totally backwards. And then we finally break it and we get it and they go, oh, that's incredible. You know, but I didn't know this either. It was James Galway that I learned this from. You know, he keeps that, there's always a little space here so that you can get that, because where does the air want to go? It wants to go into the flute, right? And we want to keep it focused into the flute so we get that beautiful sound and we don't have too much air in our sound. And lots of times, the only reason why some people say that they, you know, today my tone isn't good, I've lost my sound, just do a simple exercise. Take the flute away and play something really that you're comfortable with so that you get the movement. Now when you're changing things, sometimes you feel a little bit upside down, but keep going for those changes, and believe me, it happens real quick. Okay? So you got that? Now, what I loved, I want you also to play for me this section here. And are you double tonguing?
No.
You're not double tonguing. Sounds like you're double tonguing. Sounds very good. Okay, but what I'm talking about, I want to focus first before we get to double tonguing, is how nice and light that tongue is. Okay, so when we play the higher notes, sometimes it's easier to get a crisp tongue, but when we go to low notes, what happens is we start making the stroke. We call it the stroke, like on the violin. We make it too long. We want to keep it all the same, like it's cha ta 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 cha ta 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 ta. So let's try that once more. This was very good. That's why I'm having you do this bit. Go on. The whole thing. Right now, the important note is that top one. Cha ta 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 ti ta. I'm talking to you, right? So I go cha ta 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 ti ta. Cha ta 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 ti ta. Let's go shopping. Cha ta 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 ta. They'll never know. Cha ta 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 ti ta 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 ta. We're off. We're off for the day. Okay? Tell a story. Now, very good. Now, I want you also always, when you're tonguing, that the note always feels open at the end. So we never stop the sound. Cha ta 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 ti ta, cha ta 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 ta, cha ta 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 ti ta, cha ta 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 ti. But always keeping it air from beneath, but never chopping the sound, because everything vibrates in life. Everything. You know, everything has a resonance, and that's what we always want to keep happening in our sound. More. Keep blowing down. Now here you have to surprise us when you come back. You know, you're surprised. It's Halloween. It's gonna poke from behind. Okay, you built this up. Ta 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 ta. Okay, can you do that for us? Become an actor. That's what we do in music. Even lighter, okay? Now here, the tongue is tired and the lips are tired. So you have to keep on, don't push so hard. Don't push so hard. Find the sound, okay? Nice and easy. You see how she didn't crack? But because you came from high notes, you're used to blowing a little bit harder. So that's why I said you change. So what you do is you take a good breath. Now, I want to hear from the beginning. Now, when we go low, we have to somehow keep that so that we hear the note. So we're holding the air here all the time from the beginning. Now that D natural, you know, blow down for that D natural, because he's a funny note D. You know, B flat, C, D, C sharp. They're funny notes on the flute, so we have to really make them beautiful notes. And how do we do that? By listening, by moving the embouchure to get the D natural. We practice that in our scales. Yes, scales. Oh my, what are they? Did you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear it? Pretty cool, huh? Boy, look, your teacher's happy. Okay, we have to stop, but we're going to do just that next section. Going on. you and me having a conversation. So I'm going da 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 yum bum bum, and now you're saying to me da 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 ya bum bum. You see ya, but not ya da da, right? You're an energetic lady. I can see that, and you must be a lot of fun. Okay. You are. Okay. So we always want to keep that the same. Just do this for me. Right, in order to get that F sharp, you're coming from a G. Keep the embouchure and then go on. Go ahead. You see how it works? So keep the embouchure for the low note, because if you have to take a breath and find another low note, keep the lips the way they are. That's what Marcel Moïse talks about. Keep the embouchure. Keep on. Beautiful? Happy? You know what to work on. Jaw back. This. Think about the arm. And directioning the air there, but keeping the air, the tonguing very light. And then really coming back nice and soft and blowing down for the spit. Bravo. Beautiful, Brittney.